Hey guys, Tara here. Welcome back to another round of the Classic Cars Championship here on F1 2018 with me in the 2006 Renault, this time for the Austrian Grand Prix, and this track could be the closest 50-50 track I think I could have chosen because it's a power track, as it always has been, but most of the track is also high-speed corners which will favour the newer cars, whereas the power will of course favour the older Ferraris and of course a BMW Williams. But it would be the 2007 Ferrari that took pole by half a second from us, with the 2003 Williams in third, with the Red Bull in fourth, then the Brawn and the 2008 McLaren, with the 92 Williams taking honours in C2, just ahead of the 96 Williams and then the 98 McLaren, which kind of bottled it a little bit. And the 92 Ferrari, the 92 Williams, have taken pole for every single qualifying so far in C2, but can you actually hold on to it with race pace this time? And the C3 cars here, like at Monaco, could cause quite an issue because this track is all just corners, so I'm expecting to see quite a bit of mayhem when we come up to these cars, of course, because this track is also so short as well, about a minute 6 or 7 for a lap. We might be seeing even more of these cars than what we did back at Monaco, because as soon as you lap them once, you'll be coming back up to them again in about 2 or 3 laps time. I was waiting for all those cars to get lined up on the grid. Of course, we're starting in second place here, but we're going to be about 12th by the time we get into turn 1, because this Renault goes absolutely nowhere in first gear along, seemingly with whatever, for some reason, the 2002 Ferrari, which doesn't go anywhere off the start either. We're coming now to the 5 red lights for the start of the Austrian Grand Prix. Lights out and away we go. Can we get a good start? No, we can't. And how many places are we going to lose? Are we going to lose any places to the C2 car? That's the main question. Look at us. We're literally standing still until we're getting swamped once again by the C2 cars. We're making side by side now with the 2002 Ferrari. We're going to give a bit of wheel banging. Got the McLaren there round our outside. That's going to be 3 wide now on this run. Of course, no DRS like back in my Union 1 career video, which happened last week. We get cleared there by the McLaren. Actually going side by side now with the 92 Williams for the lead of C2 in about 7th or 8th place overall. We're side by side now into turn 2, and the McLaren already takes the lead of C2. I mean, that did take well, didn't it? The Williams is bottling it once again off the start. We're in 8th place in our class, but we're down in 10th place overall. Being swamped here by the 92 Williams. We're ahead of the 96 and 95 Ferrari. Now coming into turn 3. Not quite close to there to make a move up the inside, of course. This track does suit our driving style pretty well, as you've seen by my Union 1 career video, which happened last week here, also at the Red Bull Ring. You can see now we can try and stick it right around the outside here. All the Williams got so much more downforce, of course we're in a 14-year newer car than that Williams, so we're going to have a lot more downforce through the corners, even if the straight line speed isn't quite there. And now it's about trying to catch now this 98 McLaren, which, although it has a faster engine, it's still not going to be as good through the corners, since that's the one advantage this Renault has, at least over the C2 cars, which we should be in front of at least of them anyway. Now they're going to pull side by side now with the McLaren now. Finally going to be a bit wheel bagging. That could have ended in disaster if we were just a little bit close together. And that's going to be a drag race now. Down into turn 1, we've got the inside line though. On this McLaren, we can force it out wide now through turn 1. We managed to make our way past the McLaren, then McLaren actually gets a good run out of the corner. Now with its V10 engine, I'm pretty sure in the back of it, it's going to try and come back, because they're going to be side by side now. With McLaren once again, this McLaren is not giving up without a fight. That's coming up the inside. Now I'm going to defend now to the inside line. The McLaren going around the outside now. Outside team, we just managed to force out the McLaren there once again. And he's going to get another good run out, which he's going to put to our inside this time. This McLaren is relentless. He's not giving up here whatsoever. And going to be side by side still with this McLaren Mercedes now down into turn 3. They've got the inside line, but we can just outbrake them. We've got so much more downforce on our car. You know, it's only a 6-year newer car than what that McLaren is. Now moving on to lap 5. We've managed to clear the McLaren finally now, and now they're onto the back now of more familiar territory now. It's the 2008 McLaren Mercedes, so we're still not clear of the McLarens, but at least it's the one we should be battling against this time at least. We're now to the final 2 corners. I thought the McLaren would be doing better here since the 2007 Ferrari took pole, but then again that thing uses some absolute steroids. Now we're pushing the McLaren now through the final corner. We've got such a good run there through it. There's nothing really we could do. And getting into issue now on the back of that MP423. Now we're going to pull to the inside now of the McLaren. Going to be diving up the inside line. We run out wide though. Take a 2-tire line, get all over the curbing now. It's going to give that McLaren behind us a good run now up this straight, because I'm getting on a slipstream. But I think we're getting enough now. They've got some pretty good momentum, it looks like. But I think coming into turn 2, we're just going to go a little bit defensive, not quite taking the racing line, but managed to stay in front though. Of that McLaren now in case after Izumi, which I'm pretty sure is that 2002 Ferrari, so that's going to be pretty monstrous. Actually, the car going really slowly, just pulls out there to the side of the track. I think that's one of the C3 cars that now has got a VSC deployed. I'm not surprised, for one of the fastest parts of the track, got a car going about 3 miles an hour. Looking at a replay of what happened to them, So this is the 82 McLaren, I think. It's either way, it's the fastest car in C3. Well, it's the newest one, maybe not the fastest. And it's a puncture right on the start finish. He's got to do a full lap with a puncture. And I actually had quite the lead actually over second place in C3, which was actually the 78 Lotus. Which I'd say is doing a great job to keep in front of the 79 Ferrari. And then they used to get past them now the Lotus takes the lead now of C3. Now then that McLaren, though, see, he pulls off there off to the racing line to let one of the other cars come through, which I think is a various other Ferrari. Now then, it's going to be very slowly, so you know, going to pull out of the way now. There's car, and McLaren just smashing into the back of it. The 76 McLaren smashed into the back of the other McLaren. So that McLaren, the 76 one, it's been a rather disastrous championship for it so far, and it just doesn't get any better for it. And now then, onto the end now of that VSC. You can see we're about 3.5-4 seconds down, because this Lotus in front of us can't even go at VSC speed, the 72 Lotus, because it's that slow. Can't even do 60 miles an hour. Finally managed to pass the Lotus, but he gets hold up though. Now then, this McLaren gaining another slipstream now. Can you try and make a move on us now coming up? Instead, you've got the 76 McLaren off over the road. No, this other McLaren's going to be a McLaren sandwich. Oh, he breezes past the 76 the 2000 McLaren dies up the inside line. And we can try and go for a switchback now on this 2008 McLaren. The McLaren just launches out of the corner. Of course, since it is a fairly even car to us, in terms of spec, it does have a 2-year newer engine. And it wasn't until 2008 that they had the engine free, so that engine was developed a lot more than what our Renault engine was. But now they're looking to a battle bit of fun there. They've got a few cars on the front. They've got the Brawn and the 2002 Ferrari going at it quite a bit there. Looking on a minute that they've got a C3 car in front of them, which could cause quite a bit of mayhem. Now, through this third sector, if you watch my Uni 1 career video, you know that I'm pretty good through here. Actually, yeah, fast actually got another car going, so he almost wiped out the McLaren. I think that's the C3 McLaren trying to get itself into the pit lane. And he almost wiped out the 2008 McLaren. I said the McLarens are just having a complete meltdown these days. McLaren meltdown. It's just like an inter-class disaster for them. And I think that's flustered this McLaren a bit. Like, up the inside now. Oh, the 2008 McLaren wants to go be side by side now into corner. Can we try and stay on the try line? Yes, we do force the 2008 McLaren out wide. Now looking there at the battle up front. We've got the Brawn now, makes a move past the Red Bull. Of course, Mercedes power versus Renault power. Of course, with the engine freeze now for these two cars, so the Merc power will have the advantage over that Renault. And of course, the Red Bull here doesn't have DRS, so it's not really going to try and go back at anything about switching, but that Brawn's just pulling away now. Now, as we come down now into turn 3, you've got two cars there to lap. It's actually the battle for the lead in C3 that these cars are coming up to lap, so still a massive race going on between those two now. We're still in 7th place of the class. Now then, we've got the battle here right in front of us now. We've got the 79 Ferrari all over the back of the 78 Lotus. The Lotus goes defensive to the inside line. Can the Ferrari stick it around the outside line? No, it can't. Just hasn't got the downforce. I mean, just about managed to clear both of those cars now. But actually, is the McLaren going to get past as well? I'm not too sure. It looks like it has got past. Having a quick look there. Now then, going up now to the final few corners now. We try and get a good line through here because try and pull away now from the McLaren. Now we've got a bit of a gap to it. Now looking back now at the battle for C3 lead. Got the Ferrari still all over the back of that Lotus. Of course, the Lotus was the ground effect Lotus, so I think ground effects was still a thing in 79 as well. So that Ferrari should be even better than what that Lotus is. I mean, this is the battle for the lead in C3. This is like the slowest moving battle I think I've ever seen. As the Lotus defends to the inside line and misses the apex there a little bit. Now, can the Ferrari get a run now coming up into turn 2? I mean, when was the last time a Lotus actually won anything? I think it would be back in 2013 at the Australian Grand Prix, so a win C3 could be pretty good. Now it goes defensive to the inside line. The Ferrari's going to try and hunt it around the outside line, but the Lotus gets late on the brakes. The Ferrari's going to try and go for a switchback, but the Lotus, as they come, of course, these cars are both so slow that they can easily react to whatever move another car tries. Now here comes the 98 McLaren now to put a lap on the Ferrari, just to get out of the way in the middle of the track. And that's how he puts a lap now on the Lotus, but the Lotus, though, crucially still keeps the lead in C3. It'll be interesting to see how that battle develops in the race and which of those two cars prevails. And moving on to lap 11, so past the halfway point now of the race. They're catching up now to a bit of a battle pack of cars here. You've got the Red Bull still right up, tucked up behind the Brawn, and in front of them I think is the 2002 Ferrari. I don't know if that's having some issues or something, or maybe saving a bit of fuel, because the V10s with the higher res would just drank fuel. They're going to go for a dive on the inside of the Red Bull, catch it napping, and he's side by side with the Red Bull. And I was in the movie I was expecting to make. They were just found the opportune gap, and now the Red Bull can be all flustered now. Can you try and come back with us now? Going up now into turn 1. He's going to try and make a move. It has a look, but that's still behind us, of course. This is that Red Bull's effective home race, even though that means absolutely nothing really. And that can be side by side. Like, it's a good run now. The corner smash into the Lotus, smash into the back of the 72 Lotus, and hits off a bit of his front wing. It's got half a front wing now. Now here comes the 2008 McLaren Mercedes. Going up behind it now into turn 2. He's not close enough there to make a move. But that Red Bull back in 2010 was well, it won the championship, but it was a very, very aero-dependent car that won it the championship. It's good aero and chassis is what won it, and now with half a front wing, that's going to be quite detrimental to that Red Bull, I'd imagine, even more so than what it would be if it was the Brawn. And now then, going up through the second sector now, we're going to have to catch up to the Brawn first. We're going to try and make a move on it, because this is the point of the track where me and the Brawn are going to be so much faster. You can see how much here we're gaining on that Brawn, because through the second sector split, officially we're 4 tenths behind, but now we're right up behind his gearbox, almost pushing it through this final sector. That Ferrari is so slow through the corners, because we've got so much more downforce, it carries so much more corner speed. It's out on the straights is where that car launches. They're trying to go for a dive on the side of the Brawn. No, it defends a bit more to the inside line, so Infinity pretty much knows that move. We're going to try and make it. Now then, the Brawn gaining on the back though of that Ferrari, but the Ferrari with a good surround speed is able to pull away, coming now into tail bombing it all over the back though of that Brawn, of course, with the V10s, and that were a lighter engine as well. Of course, it didn't have all KERS and ERS and all the things that the engines have now, so the cars in general were quite a bit lighter. And they've got the McLaren now gaining on the back of the Rebel. The Rebel has to go defensively to the inside line. The McLaren can try and send one round the outside line. The Rebels can try and make a dive back up the inside line. Almost contact between the two of them, but the McLaren just keeps itself on the racing line. But the Brawn, the Rebel, pulls itself back in front. And the McLaren's getting in the slipstream now on the back of that Rebel. Now the Rebel once again gets defensive to the inside line. The McLaren's going to try and hold it now around the outside line. Into turn 3, going to be side by side still. The Rebel keeping itself up the inside line, but the McLaren just about keeps itself on the racing line. But the Rebel just has to move up in front. Let's go defensive to the inside line. The McLaren's going to try and hold it now around the outside line here once again. Try and make the move that we did back on that Williams in C2. Back on that one. We're side by side still, and the McLaren's just going to squat through and guess it around the outside line. A great move there from that McLaren. Just showing the damage to that Red Bull really, because that Red Bull should easily have held it up the inside line. But you can see there, it's basically got HRT levels of downforce. It's got a plank on the right side of its front wing, and this track being mostly all corners, besides it being a power track as well, so it's really not going to be worked out well for that Red Bull for these remaining final laps of the race. Now into turn 1, that Brawn once again still isn't close enough to make a move on the back of that Ferrari. Now it needs to be about this run now up into turn 2. As you see, the Brawn's actually getting out of switching, so maybe the Brawn's getting a little bit hot there, being tucked up behind this Ferrari for so long. I can imagine with the V10, all the gases coming off the back of that, didn't really care about the downforce about the car behind, because back in 2002 with less aero the cars were less effective and could follow better, so maybe the Brawn's having a few issues for being just a newer car in general. But it's still keeping all the back of the Ferrari. It's not letting that Ferrari get out of its sight, but it can't do anything about it. It can catch up to it, but then it can't go any further. Now coming up to the back now with some C2 traffic. I think that's the 88 McLaren, the all-conquering MP44, which is being lapped like it's not even there really. It's just so slow compared to these newer cars. I mean, it may have been one of the most dominant cars of all time, but when you stick it up against the 2002 Ferrari, the 2009 Brawn, and our 2006 Renault, it's absolutely nothing to any of us. I've still got another few cars. I'm trying to actually got a C3 car now. Going to come us now into the final 2 corners. It's still going to stick in front of us. It's going to hold up this Ferrari here so much, and the Brawn as well. It's going to be the Brawn's best chance, I think, to make a move. And there's a bit of a lock up there from that C3 car as well. He pulls out of the way. Actually, going to go 3 wide momentarily there, lapping. I think that's the 79 Ferrari. They're going to be the Brawn's on the inside line with the Ferrari with that V10 power. Pulls itself back in front. That was the Brawn's best opportunity. He's still going to make it, even side by side. Now then, they've got the 78 Lotus, which both of them now put a lap on, and we managed to get past it as well. But the Brawn now surely is going to be deploying KERS, because KERS was a thing for the first time back in 2009, so they're going to have that to its advantage, I'd imagine. Going up now into turn 2, we're still not close to making a move with this side. Looking to be found out the Red Bull back up the inside though. Of that McLaren Mercedes, the Red Bull clearly has felt his way around the car now. Some pretty good speed there, even with that damage. I mean, with damage, it's going to be more low drag to make it back in front. Now the McLaren going to try and come back. Now the Red Bull once again stuck on the inside line. The McLaren once again going to try and hold it around the outside line. Now into turn 3, the Red Bull forces out wide, forces it even more out wide this time. Although the McLaren keeps on the racing line, just has to pull back in behind. This time it's not as close though, so coming now into turn 4, into the middle of the second sector, it's not close enough to make a move still. And that may well be the Red Bull that keeps it back in front now, because that Red Bull with some mighty pace out of seemingly nowhere for being damaged. And now then, still on lap 15 now, we're still gaining on the cars in front of us. Well, we're still gaining, trying to, through this sector anyway. You see, it was so much faster. We'd be going so much quicker than that Ferrari if we could just get past it. I mean, his Brawn is having so many issues here to try and get past. But now we've got another C3 car in front of us now. Yeah, I think that's a McLaren this time. So let's see if that McLaren gets out of the way any better than what the Ferrari did on the previous lap. Once again, he pulls over to the inside line, and now we get blocked in. All take a bit of contact. That really killed our run. Now getting in the slipstream. We're going to try and make a move on the inside of the Brawn. We've got the momentum. The Brawn gets fed to the inside line. We have to switch to the outside line now. Coming in, someone trying to hold it right outside the Brawn. The Brawn squeezes us to your base. We run off wide. We have to lift off and let the Brawn back pass. Although we're off the track anyway, so we wouldn't have had any grip. So the Brawn will go back past anyway. But I don't want to make an illegal overtake. But that's giving that Ferrari up in front a little bit of breathing space. course, this is the fight for the podium as well, so this fight means even more for the championship because, well, my aim for the championship is to not come last in C1, but if I can get anywhere close to me winning the championship or a top 3, I'll be very happy with that come the end of the final race. And now we've got the 91 McLaren now going a lot down, hits on the apex though, and he holds it with the Ferrari, but then again he holds it with the Brawn as well, so that McLaren not getting out of the way very well at all. Now we're all over the back now of Jenson Button's championship winning Brawn, now coming now through the heart now of the second sector, sticking around the outside line. The Brawn clearly flustered, good drive right around the outside, a great move from us now. This Renault coming alive here on lighter fuel. Let's see how much faster we are as well than that Ferrari. We've got so much more speed. We just can't do anything to try and get past it though down the straight. It's going to be all about the corners to where you make a move on it. Now getting on now 3 final corners. There's a car in the middle of the track. There's a Ferrari on 3 wheels stuck there in the middle of the racing lines. How did we all manage to avoid that? And that could have been disastrous. It could have been a 4-car pile up there behind the back of that 95 Ferrari, which somehow now only has 3 wheels attached to it. Coming now into turn 1, we've got 2 more C3 cars in front of us, the Lotus here, and that 76 McLaren. We're going to get past the Lotus, and now again switching off the back. Oh, the McLaren's so close to making contact. The McLaren is sticking it so slowly on the racing line. Honestly, that McLaren wasn't probably even going, but showing them what he can do. Now good defensive to the inside line. The Brawn gives us a bit of a nudge. Pretty much what Sebastian Vettel did to us back on this race in my Union 1 career back in 2015. He makes a move right around the outside. Brawn there with the race line, of course, more downforce as well, giving it a 3 newer car, even with the regulation changes that happened for 2009. Now into turn 3. We've only got a lap and a half of this race left to go, and now we've brought the Red Bull back into play now with how much we've been battling. But now we've got 1 lap in the sector really left. Try and get a podium position here for me, either with this Brawn, the Red Bull behind me, or can that Ferrari hold on for another lucky hole. Maybe we can try and get around the outside of the Brawn to try and use this good speed we have whilst this Brawn's stuck up behind, because we're not going to be affected by the DRT as much as what that Brawn is. And especially even more for that Red Bull behind us, even with half a front wing. Might not be as affected by DRT now. Coming through, trying to look for a way around the outside, around the final corner, but the Brawn just has it up the inside line, just finding any way we can possibly try and find a way past. Coming out into turn 1, once again the Brawn's all over the back of that Ferrari, but coming into turn 1, once again he's still not quite close enough to make a move on the inside of the Ferrari. Now it's going to be maximum attacker, maximum engine modes, maximum everything, cars, not DRS because that didn't exist yet. And see though, the Ferrari's still pulling away, even that Brawn is surely on maximum attack, rich mix and everything. Still couldn't do anything now into turn 2. Now I don't know if there's going to be any more lap traffic, so if it's the clean run to the finish, I think the Ferrari's actually there's on the 96 Williams though. The Williams could decide who gets this podium position, but either both the cars get past it though pretty okay, coming into turn 3. Ferrari gets okay, but the Williams for us parks it on the apex, so we have to drive right around the outside of the Williams there. It costs us a bit of time, but looking up front, it's going to be the 2003 BMW Williams that wins the Austrian Grand Prix on the power track. Even though this is low downforce, so it's a pretty good result there for the Williams, taking a pretty dominant victory over the 2007 Ferrari, which continues its good consistency. Now looking back now at this fight for the final podium place, can this Ferrari hold on now through the final 2 corners? The Brawn's going to be a maximum attack now, going to give it everything it's got now around this final 2 corners now into the final corner, or it's going to be a sprint now up to the finish line. Can the Ferrari hold on? Can the Brawn do anything up to the finish line? And it's going to be the Ferrari that just holds on to 3rd place. But before we take a look at the end results, we've got to take a look at why the 95 Ferrari only had 3 wheels in the middle of the road. It's going up behind the 96 Williams, so honestly some good pace here from the Ferrari to keep up with the 96 Williams. Actually, we've got this 72 Lotus, who's just passing the rest of the Ferrari, has nowhere to go, smash it into the back of that Lotus and actually lops off half of its front wing. And he's got the 76 McLaren now up in front of it, which sticks his way to the inside line of the Ferrari. Going to be side by side, and he just turns into the McLaren and wipes himself out of the Grand Prix. That was 100% the Ferrari's fault, and now then all we coming on the other side and somehow managed to avoid it. Taking a look at the end results, and the Williams to take victory 12 seconds clear of the 2010 Ferrari, so a dominant victory for the Williams. I think that's the biggest gap we've had a win by so far. And the 2002 Ferrari rounds off the podium in 3rd, with the Brawn in 4th, and we're in 5th place, but only half a second away from that podium. That was an epic, that half race podium scrap, and the Red Bull behind us wasn't too far behind either. And the 2008 McLaren, all things considered, wasn't too far behind either, and the 2004 Ferrari was absolutely nowhere in this race. I had no idea why it was down in 8th place. It should have been one of the cars really that could have won the race. And then the 98 Ferrari takes honours in C2 and is the last car on the lead lap, with the 92 Williams a lap down, rounding off the top 10. Then comes the 96 Williams in 11th, with the 91 McLaren, and then the 88 McLaren, and taking honours in C3 would indeed be the ground effect 1978 Lotus, with the 79 Ferrari in 15th, and on the best lap it was 2 times quicker, so it had the pace but just couldn't get past. And then came the 72 Lotus, which beat the 76 McLaren, which isn't really surprising because the 76 McLaren's best lap was 4 tenths slower than it. And then came the 82 McLaren after its puncture, from leading the class to last of the finish, 3 laps down. Then we have the 95 Ferrari, which of course we saw DNF, along with the 76 Ferrari, which also retired from the race. And finally, moving on to the point standings, and the Red Bull still leads, but is now only 1 point clear of the 2003 Williams, and there's a bit of a gap back to the 2007 Ferrari now, and we're in 4th, 11 points behind it. Then there's the 2008 McLaren just a point behind us, joint on points also now with the 2004 Ferrari, and then leading in C2 is still the 98 McLaren, 2 points clear of the 92 Williams, who are both now ahead of the 2002 Ferrari still, and the Brawn. And taking honours in C3 currently is still the 79 Ferrari, 2 points clear of the 76 Ferrari. So remember to leave a like if you enjoyed this race and you enjoyed that mega podium scrap. Remember to comment down below, subscribe if you're new, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my future uploads. And follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. They'll be linked down in the description below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.